All right, Saggy. You're pulling some really beautiful cards here. I absolutely love them, and I think they're perfect for you guys. Now, this week from Lay Vampire, you pulled Anti-Hero, Maverick, Risk Taker, and Rule Breaker. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Joy, which is beautiful. Now, with Anti-Hero, basically what you're doing here is you're showing people who think too much in boxes and with labels that those who do good are not always going to fit a cultural stereotype. Now, working with this card says your individuality is a gift from the divine. You are the only person on the planet like you. You are truly here for a purpose, and you are truly needed. No matter how modest this purpose, do it well with all your heart, and there will be no more loneliness. So not only are you a hero, but you're moving into a beautiful phase in life here with joy. Now, the inspiration says that this card represents a new joyous phase in life and a significant change, such as a move, a new job, or a marriage. This is the moment after the leap. You may not see where you are going, but you will land on your feet. The personal question says, what can I do to invite happiness into my life? Being present is not the same as truly experiencing something. And then the key ideas are a conduit for joy, higher purpose, profoundly impacting lives, and improved health, and possibly a birth. It's beautiful. It's perfect. And I think it's perfect for Sag. Sorry, guys. I'll get this straight. I promise. All right, Saggy. Here's the energy coming through. The Nine of Pentacles. Very nice. Very nice. Independence and self-reliance. And then more than that, this is being able to enjoy the finer things in life. Being able to enjoy the things that you've worked hard for. And it looks good. It's basically saying that you don't need anybody to create a stable foundation for you. You can do that on your own. And in the past, you have the past, the Six of Cups. Now, what I love about this card, though, is it really shows how, this woman is moving away from the childhood thoughts of the past. So for some of you, it's moving away from the past and going into the present, or bringing joyful memories from the past back into your life and recreating them now. Either way, it feels good. I don't think that any of you are stuck with the past. I think you're making your peace with it here. In the present. So yeah, life starts to pick up here pretty quickly, and then this can also have to do with communication. But the Eight of Wands, it's fast-moving energy, and it's bringing all that shit down so that you can start building on what your dreams are, though, too. But I think for a lot of you, things are just going to start, moving really quickly. Now, for some of you, this could have to do with travel. And a lot of that is because I look at this card and I see all these horses running yeah, where are you going? But it looks good. Future conditions, the Seven of Pentacles. Now, you're looking at here, it's not so much that there's a situation that needs to be reevaluated. If you're reevaluating anything, it's going to have to do with the past and the way that you've done things in the past. When you move into future conditions here, it's more about, what can I do to continue this growth in my life, especially this independence and being able to enjoy things. How do I make this continue? And you're wanting to move quickly on something here with the Eight of Wands. And again, it may have to do with communication that's coming through, but I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that things are moving really quickly here. And I think that you're wanting to maintain that independence and being able to, create that stable foundation and be able to enjoy the things that you have in your life for sure. I don't think that there's anything negative that you're having to reevaluate. But, I do kind of question how, the past is lining up here. Very nice. Very, very nice. Your best path to follow. I like the Page of Cups here because it's saying that, there's a new emotional experience that's going to happen for you. And it's a lighthearted energy. For some of you, it's you communicating the way that you feel and possibly communicating it to somebody, being open about your feelings, but also being open here to receiving some really good messages. With the Eight of Wands, hell yeah, And again, with joy, it feels good. It feels like it may be a fast-moving situation for you, but it looks good. And I think for some of you, that there's a feeling here of like being fiercely independent. And, you know, maybe that's what needs to be reevaluated here, you know, if things are moving quickly, as far as, you know, changes happening in your life or even within a relationship here. But, you know, the Page of Cups sitting there basically is saying that you need to be open to this new experience because it looks good. And emotionally, it may benefit you as well. And your environment, the Two of Swords. Oh, wow. So, yeah, I do think that for some of you, you know, I don't feel like you're stuck in the past. You know, and not so much that I feel like something from the past is coming back either. I think that there's something that you may be trying to move away from in the past, and I think what it has to do is with your independence. You know, there's a difficult decision surrounding that here. You know, and for some of you, this could be a situation where you may just be so used to being single that the idea of, you know, getting involved in a relationship, or like, you know, even if you're in one and you're moving in together, it's like, it's difficult here. It's difficult to decide, you know, do I really want to do this? Do I not really want to do this? I'm so used to being on my own. Am I going to be open to this? You know, and it's not, I mean, it's minor. It's so minor sitting there, you know, but things may be moving so fast for you that you're like, I don't know what to do here. I'm not going to make any difficult decisions here. I'm not ready yet. And that may be where, you know, you move into future conditions here where you start to reevaluate the situation a little bit differently. You know, but it's not bad. Like, I get the feeling around it, you know. When you're so used to being on your own and then you move into a relationship really quickly, it's like, you know. I'm so used to being just me. Oh, wow. Your hopes and your fears. Death. Now, as far as a fear goes, it's fearing the changes that are happening because they're happening quickly. They're happening quickly. I don't see it as a bad thing at all. You know, these are major things that may be ending. This is a major phase in your life that may be ending, and there may be a new one opening up here. You know, there's still that room for transformation. You know, the card says on the stone that life is only changed, not taken, you know. So it's more about you fearing some major things that are going to be ending. A major way of life is going to be ending. You got to be careful about like not allowing the change. You know, you don't want to be fearing it either, you know. And you're having difficulty with it, but it doesn't look bad. What's coming to you looks good. It does. It's just, I think it's going to disrupt what you're so used to doing and what you're used to like identifying yourself as here, you know. But you get to a spot here where you start to look at things, I think, a little bit differently with the Seven of Pentacles. You're willing to grow with the situation, but, you know, you need to reevaluate it too. You know, and I would rather see that than like the hangman sitting there, you know. But I think for some of you, it's just a fast-moving situation that's going to be difficult because, you know, this is where your focus is you and your independence. And then the Two of Pentacles. So yeah, you know, you're making decisions here. You're making decisions based on, you know, how the changes are going to interrupt what you already know. Now with the Hierophant, right? Stubborn energy. It feels stubborn to me. You know, there is a set way of doing things, right? When things start to pick up, you know, for some of you, which is funny because you're not a fixed sign, but for some reason, whatever is disrupting you is like, no. You know, there is a set way of doing things here. Now, on the other hand, you're making some major commitments, though, too, with the Hierophant. But the Two of Pentacles is suggesting that, you know, you're in the balancing act here. Now, with this deck, she's happy. She's happy that she's able to maintain this balance and keep all these things up in the air. But for me, I'm like, okay, you know, do you really want to be forever, like, trying to figure out how to balance everything in your life? It may just be a situation here where you're going to have to stop being so goddamn stubborn. You're going to have to look at what it is that you're balancing out here and decide what you can set aside instead of dropping the ball on something, just like, okay, I'm going to have to put this down for a minute so I can deal with what's happening. And I just think for a lot of you, these are going to be some major changes in your life that's going to disrupt what you already know, what you know and what you're used to here with the Nine of Pentacles. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It just reminds me of somebody that's like, okay, you know, sure, I'm willing to go with this. But then at the same time, there's a part of you that's like, meh, you know, I'm so used to just being me. Do I really want to go with the flow on this? You know, but there is going to be a new joyous phase in your life, which is hopeful here. Now, you know, again, I think for some of you looking at the Six of Cups in your past, it's just you needing to move away from, you know, thoughts of the past here. And you see it again with the Six of Swords, but it's like it's difficult. It's difficult for you to do, which I understand. Like, I totally get it. Like, I understand the energy. You know, that's like when I first moved in with my husband, I was like, man, I'm just so used to being me. Do I really want to do this? You know, but those things like have to change. They have to change, especially if you're looking at something really good. I mean, really, really good, you know? And maybe what you need to do is just communicate your emotions surrounding the situation. You know, if anything is moving fast, whether it's work or whether it's a relationship. But for a lot of you, I feel like this is like a relationship that's moving really quickly for some of you. Now, on the other hand, you know, there may be some major changes that are happening here that may disrupt your feeling of independence. And you're just going to have to like roll with the punches here. You know, reevaluate the situation, make the decisions that you need to here, and move away from whatever conflicting thoughts are stopping you. And don't be stubborn. Like, don't be stubborn. And break free. Very nice. So break free. Break free from whatever past thoughts may be holding you back here. Awakening. Having an awakening with death. Absolutely. But you're still looking at a lot of prosperity happening in your life. And again, you know, for some of you, it just has to do with work. Others of you, it's going to have to do with a relationship or something bigger. But it looks good. And there's no reason why you shouldn't feel prosperity, especially with the Nine of Pentacles being there. You look great, you know, but you're going to have to go through that awakening here and break free from whatever is holding you back mentally or physically. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive, if I could talk. And then, oh wow, very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So very soon, something will be happening in your love life. But love yourself first. That goes without saying. We hear it all the time, right? You have to love yourself first. Okay. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture, but let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. I'm not even saying anything. But if you're feeling love, damn it, express it, you know, and just let things happen. You look good, Sag. I just think that some of you may be a little bit stubborn. All right, Sag. So I just kind of get the feeling that for a lot of you, this is going to have to do with your independence and being able to maintain your independence. I think that you're used to a certain way of being, a certain way of living. And when things start to move a little bit too quickly and there's too many changes going on, it may be difficult for you to make, you know, some clear-cut, difficult decisions here. That's minor. It's not bad at all. Now, with the Six of Cups being in your past, you know, it is talking about you moving away from thoughts of the past, you know, and that may be something that you're still working with here, but things are moving so quickly. And I do think, though, for some of you, the communication is going to be really exciting here. Not just that, but it's opening up to a new emotional experience for you. The Page of Cups being in your best path to follow is telling you that you need to be open to it. You know, this may be something brand new coming through here, and it may be coming in really fast. But don't stay stuck here. Don't cling on to, you know, an old way of being when you know that there are changes that need to be made. It may be on a major level here, but, you know, you're going to go through that transformation, right? Now, in terms of, I kind of feel like you're like, begrudgingly moving away from it, like, all right, damn it, I guess I have to, I don't have a choice, is what it feels like. Now with the Hierophant, it is talking about making commitments though too. But I think that for a lot of you, that's the stubborn energy. Like, there is a set way of doing things and that's it, you know. And you shouldn't be in this like balancing act here. You don't want to be like balancing out all the changes and feeling like you're constantly doing the dance, right? Even though she's happy doing it here, for me, I'm like, okay, there's going to have to be something that you can set aside and deal with later so that you're not dropping the ball on things here. That way you can have that balance in your life. But I do think that some of you are looking at it a little bit differently here. Now, prosperity, awakening, and break free. Break free of whatever mental blocks are stopping you here. And there's no reason why you shouldn't have prosperity. With the Nine of Pentacles being there, hell yeah. And it looks great. An awakening. There's an awakening, an understanding that, you know, some things are done with now. You're moving into a different phase in your life. And it looks really good. It really does. Now, as far as relationships go, love yourself first and very soon. So yeah, I would say very soon something's going to happen here for those of you who are single. But it's important that you love yourself first. And that goes without saying. You know, we hear it all the time. You have to love yourself first before anybody else can love you. That's just how it is, right? But, you know, the other thing though too, when it comes to that, a lot of times we're all too willing to put our happiness into the hands of others. And they will always fail to create it. And I've said this many times before. Your happiness and your self-worth and your inner love is coming from within. You cannot expect it to come from without, because nobody else can create that for you. That is your responsibility. Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, express your love and let go of control issues. I don't know why, Sag, but you're coming off with a stubborn energy here. If you're happy in a relationship, express it. But don't feel like you need to be in control of everything that's happening. Everything looks okay, you know. Make your commitments. Stick to your commitments. If you have a set way of doing things, there's no reason why that should have to change. But you don't want to be so stubborn that you don't allow the changes that have to happen. I mean, you look good. And in terms of work, if this is apart from a relationship, looking at the Page of Cups here, I'm telling you now that this is the time for you to start acting on whatever creative ideas you have. Now is the time to start putting that into action, especially with the Eight of Wands being here. Because it has the potential here to bring you a lot of prosperity. Either way, Sag, you're looking at a week that I think is going to be more difficult for you than probably what it needs to be.